Hello, guys. Welcome to Rex Arthur TV. This is the Rex Arthur Show, where we discuss LGBTQ issues with an LGBTQ perspective and an LGBTQ approach and a humanistic approach in an LGBTQ plus planet, where each and every one of us belongs in either of the 10 sexual letters found in the sexual alphabet LGBT QQIAAP. I hope you know your letter. And today we are still going on running the marathon, very long one indeed. I thought we were going to finish it yesterday, but we couldn't, so we had to come today and finish this marathon. And now we're on the last, we've done two-thirds of the marathon, and we're on lap 20. We have 10 laps to go, and that's Article 20, the right to freedom of assembly and association. Also a very important right, and as I told you last time, this is where gay marriage is very important, and any sexual association, because an association, a family is an association, a couple is an association, and assembly, now that one means meetings and of course protesting. So everyone has a right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association. No one may be compelled to belong to an association. So you have a right to assemble peacefully, not violently. And you also have a right to associate. That's to relate with people and form an association. And then no one shall be compelled to belong to an association. Of course, there's already a right to marry and found a family, but even sexual associations can be based on this right. Now, the right to freedom of association and assembly enshrined in article, we've already read that. And the right to peaceful assembly, it says in the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights that no restrictions may be placed on the exercise of this right other than those imposed in conformity with the law which are necessary in a democratic society in the interest of national security or public safety or public order, the protection of public health or morals, or the protection of the rights and freedoms of others. And everyone has a right of association, including the right to form and join trade unions for the protection of his interests. So international civil and political rights is very, it addresses trade unions. And you can see the International Labour Convention of 1948 concerning the freedom of association and protection of the right to organize to legislative matters which will be prejudiced or to apply to the law in such a manner the prejudice the guarantees provided for in that convention. So they are saying state parties should not make laws that would prejudice the guarantees in the convention. So, you know, there are some countries which don't allow workers to form trade unions, and that is what this International Covenant for Civil and Political Rights is saying should not happen, because you are free to form and join trade unions for the protection of his interests. Yes, you are in a union, trade, especially workers, because to protect your interests. You want high salary, you want better allowances, you want better working conditions. Those are your interests that need to be protected. And children also have a right to associate and freedom of peaceful assembly, and however, it is subject to restrictions. And in the African Charter, our favorite, we love this African Charter because of how they explain things to some extent. No, we don't love everything there. Just majority of the things, how they write it, I think they had very good writers. Every individual shall have the right for free association, provided that he abides by the law. Okay, there you are, the law factor, following everybody. Africa and the law, they really like hiding there. Subject to the obligation of solidarity provided for in 29, no one may be compelled to join an association, and every individual shall be right to assemble freely with others. The exercise of this right shall be subject only necessary to restriction provided by law and of national security, health, ethics, and rights and freedoms of others. So I talk about countries I have studied their laws and I've lived there before. So I know Uganda has very many strict laws on freedoms. It's a country that really takes national security so seriously that they've even controlled public assembly. They have the Public Order Act, whereby if more than a few people meet, you have to have a license. Of course, some countries don't have such laws. And what you need to know about countries, they have diverse and unique legislative history. So please understand some countries. Some of them, they have diverse and unique legislative history. For the reason being, every country has a unique history. It's the saddest truth. Every country is like a family. Every family has a unique history. Genetic history, blood history, sickness history, and these histories affect your future. So you see, that's why you have to have very good MPs or MPs who are very knowledgeable so that they can make a good future. Because if you make laws that are very bad, the chances of making a bad future are high. Because, number one, the MPs who are there do not even know what they're doing. Number two, the MPs who are there make laws that clearly do not solve the problems of the people. There is a country I like here in Africa. They formed, I think it's Kenya. I liked the legislation. The legislation was that every county, Kenya is now divided into counties, and the law was the best piece of law for solving unemployment I've ever seen. And it was that every county was to open a national employment center. And this national employment center is found in every county. And so everybody in a county goes to that center. If you don't have a job, you go and place your CV and everything there. And they will now alert you when a company wants a job, because it's a national employment center that works in tandem with the companies that exist there in the county and the government offices that also exist in that county. So when the government offices need people, they run to the National Employment Center. They don't look for you. They go to the National Employment Center and they say, we want so and so and so and so. And then they look at the qualifications of the people and then they say, yes, this one has what we want. Call them for an interview, call them for what, blah, 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 call them for hiring, like that. So I kind of like that because, and then you as a human being, you can go to the center and look for the companies and the government offices that are looking for people. Alternatively, now with the internet, you can just go to your county website, the County National Employment Center website, and look at the jobs that are given within that county. Then you can also do inter-county job application. So you may choose to work in another county, and another county may need your qualifications, and you can apply from another county. So it's inter-county and also intra-county. So I looked at the law and I said, yeah, this is how you solve unemployment, because it's data driven. Because there are some counties that are overwhelmed with so many workers, and then there are other counties that need workers. So the only thing you can do is go to the county that needs workers, and you'll see, if you do that, all the counties will develop. They will be small Dubais. I wrote a book, City by City, that the secret to building a nation is, like, if you have what Kenya has now, county, every county should have a city-like situation. A very organized town. It's neat, tarmacked. You get its electricity is flowing, water is flowing, well built. Every county. Don't build 5 cities in one county. Just look for one and then organize it very well. And then you will see what will happen. Every county you will reduce rural-urban migration. And then because you're data driven, you will balance the population very well in that county, because every county has the same facilities that the other county has. Within a short time, you've done well. And that's why if Kenya sticks to the plan and the program, it is going to be a very successful country. Yes, because some of these things they don't happen in a minute. They take time. So what I'm trying to say is I was very happy with that law. And what I'm trying to say is that laws, you can make good laws because of the quality of legislators you have. And so that's what happens when you have like this freedom of assembly. I've told you what happened in Uganda. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is there's unique legislative history because of the unique history of the country. So Uganda sadly had a very violent history, so they tend to have very many laws that control the freedoms. You see these freedoms we are reading, majority of them have laws in Uganda. They have given a law to spell out the restrictions whereby you may not do freedom of assembly easily. Of course, it doesn't mean you can't have a concert, you can't go to church, you can do it. But there are certain meetings they control, and it's because of the violent history they had. So please understand, every country has a unique history. And the beauty of life is, if you are a Ugandan and you really don't like your country, you can move. So now freedom of movement. So this is why I'm telling you, make UDHR your Bible. You will love the world. Yes. You will love it. You will be working as a global citizen. This is the global constitution. It's only that it's not legally binding. But it teaches you what is your power as a human being. That's why we are taking time to go through this thing. The article, the UDHR, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Because you are a human. And a human is a person who lives in the world. You can live in any country in the world. Yes, any. Please understand that. Any country in the world you can live in. Yes, you have a right. Freedom of movement because you're a human. Right now, we don't have a right to live in Mars because Mars, of course, now we're already doing colonization there thanks to NASA and ESA. Especially NASA, they are already going to colonize and they are sending humans to live there to study. It's just that Mars has no army to come and fight the Earth. But very soon, I'm happy with genetic modification of humans. We can create Martians. Yes, it's beautiful. Oh, my friends, I know some things look negative in the world, but when you look at the positive things happening in the world, you don't even want to miss it. It's a time. It's beautiful time to be in the world. And they will make Martians, they'll make Venetians, and then we plant them there. Genetically modified Martians. These are humans that can breathe the air of Mars without a problem. Please allow the Chinese man who has genetically modified children who are resistant to HIV. Please allow him to make more humans. I beg you, the West. Please don't stop him. He has done it. And he can do more. And give him ideas. Let him make Martians, Venetians, Jupiterians, Saturnians, Plutonians. Find the gases in those planets and make a human who can breathe neon gas. And then take him to those places. And he will walk in Saturn and build cities in Saturn. Oh, the world will be lovely. And then the Saturnians can put their internet system and set their satellites and show us what's happening in Saturn, planet Saturn. And show us what's happening in planet Jupiter. Oh, the world in the year 10,000 AD, we will be everywhere. Yes, we will be everywhere. And we can be visiting. Especially those of you who believe in life after death. You know you're a spirit. You'll go to another planet. We don't know which planet it is. There is no hell. There are cosmoses. That's where you disappear into. And the only thing that disappears, your body remains in Earth because it is an Earthian. Yes, you're an Earthian. But your psyche is very weird. So it's going to go back to the other cosmos it came from. Because God, as I've said to those who believe in an afterlife, God should be in another cosmos. Yes. So, and it's not hell you're going. There's no hell for anybody, and it's neither heaven. We'll just go to another cosmos. All right. That's freedom of association and assembly. You have the right, and go on. All right. Thank you so much.